What is different about this year's VCU team in relation to ones that you played in years past? Is it maybe they're not as good inside as they have been in the past?
Well, that'd be hard to say. I think Tillman is a tremendous player, having an incredible season. Their speed and aggressiveness is really, really good. They've shot three-point shots very well. So I think so. I would say statistically there aren't quite as many turnovers, but being forced. But I think it's a really good team with a great coach, and I know they'll be ready tomorrow.
I know Friday we talked about communication, especially on the defensive
Yeah.
end. How satisfying was the win, knowing that on the defensive end you probably heard a lot
Yeah.
more communication in the game?
For sure. I feel like, GW also is more of a half-court team, so that there's probably more opportunity to get ourselves set, talk about, the first piece of the pattern, and I think we did that. So I think that was a really good sign for us. I think every coach is trying to get his team to talk more, and the younger you are, the more things you have to worry about, and you don't probably talk as much. But that was a step in the right direction, and, our defense really helped us win the game, and obviously that hasn't been the case enough this year. So we need to continue to zero in, and hopefully we'll be good defensively against VCU.
Mike said that he doesn't like coaching against friends.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I don't like it either. Mike has really been a good friend of mine for a long time, and we're the same age, same graduating year in high school, and played together, in the Sunny Hill League in Philadelphia. So. Yeah, and we've been close. I mean, when I came here, he was at Randolph-Macon already, and hired Jamal based on his recommendation. So yeah, I don't really care for it either. It's interesting that in the biggest rivalry game now, I have a close friend on the other side.
With that being said, how important you've been in this a long, long time as well as Rose. How important is this rivalry?
Well, it's great. I'm concentrating on a lot of other things personally, but the rivalry is great, and I've said many times that I think it's great for college basketball. It's one that not only Richmond and VCU circle, but the A10, and I think nationally it's known as a great rivalry. So that's important to have things like that. We want to play as well as we can. And it's hard to do that when the team is so good, the atmosphere is so good, and the intensity is so high. But that's what makes it a great challenge. So hopefully we can go in, really keep our poise, and play really, really well, because we have to win the game.
Buck said you guys moved the ball much better against GW. Can you pass too much?
Sure. Definitely. We had a couple examples of that in the GW game. But, but I think for us, we're probably always going to base ourselves on ball movement. And, we try to recruit good passers, put them in the right positions, let them have the freedom to see what they see. But a certain crispness only comes with time. And I think our best teams are very, very crisp, and I think we're much improved. We're not quite there yet, but yeah, moving the ball and making the defense move is the most important part of our offense, and hopefully that'll show up as we go along during the season.
What have you learned about your team now that you didn't know when camp started?
Well, it's a resilient group. I feel like, we anticipated as coaches that there would be some struggles based on the schedule and based on our youth, and our guys did not. And so, you don't want to convince them so much of that and take away their confidence, but you want to make them aware that, how hard college basketball is and how difficult it is without TJ and Chandre, and how many challenges were in our schedule. But they're resilient, and I think that, I think our coaches and staff have done a great job of just communicating with the guys, helping the guys try to understand the greater overall message, knowing that, practice isn't hard because of a punishment on our record, but it's hard because we're trying to prepare to do better in the future. And so I think the group has been resilient. I don't think, we've had instances where guys can, don't take the coaching as well in the moment, but as a group, they've been really good and ready to practice every day, ready to lift weights every day, ready to meet every day. So, that's a really good sign for us as we move forward.
You had mentioned that everyone's frustrated with the record as it stands
Sure.
right now. How razor thin is the line between kind of harnessing that frustration and using it as motivation and having it kind of derail it?
Yeah, you know what? I think that's basketball, unfortunately. I watch so many games because when we scout and, a ball goes in at the end of the game and you win and everybody's happy and talking about every part that everyone did to help you win, and ball rolls out, and that's really, really frustrating. And then you add to that a lot of opportunities that we've missed like that or that have gone against us, and that can be frustrating. So I think the most important thing is to communicate. We want to correct the mistakes that we're making, for sure, but then we also want to let the guys know that, if we can correct them, we'll be much better. And this is why we're trying to correct them. And it's not just, get on the line and run because we've made too many mistakes. We want to, get our point across, but also help them understand how much better we can be if we can limit those mistakes.
Have you guys watched, and how much have you watched, their game with Dayton? Seeing as how it's the last common opponent and the last one each of you played, is there anything that you gleaned out of that game or have you not really paid much attention to it yet?
I watched the game for a little bit, but I don't really go off how teams perform against other teams. I just try to tell my team we need to come out and perform better than any team at any given night. So we're just gonna try to prepare today for practice and get ready for tomorrow, and try to prepare and give ourselves a big game.
Coach Rhodes says you guys are playing the best basketball you've played all season right now. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely agree. We're finally communicating a lot more, finally playing really hard at every position of the time of the game. So I just feel like we just keep competing and just keep communicating more, and I feel like we will be fine in this conference play.
VCU doesn't press like they used to.
Mm-hmm.
They can at times, but it's not their primary objective. What does make them so difficult?
I would say with VCU, they always just been so competitive. I would say by the start, starting off with Shaka, he just been recruiting kids that were just dogs on the floor, just wanted to compete, didn't care about scoring. They just wanted to just go out there and play and have fun and win games. So I would say he started their culture, but definitely Mike Rhodes, he's definitely continuing, and he's definitely a great coach. But I would just say, like Coach Mooney always tells us, just we have to prepare and just come out there and just be grown men and just play our game. And I feel like that's how we're going to play tomorrow night.
You were talking about playing your best basketball now, and I know you guys aren't into moral victories, but can you take any confidence in the fact that you've been right there in so many of these games that just one or two things haven't gone your way, that you're pretty close?
Yeah, it definitely always. I realize that always comes down to the end of the game. Now that we're battling a lot more. I was talking to Jacob the other day, and I was just telling him it's just a part of the process. Teams have their years and their ups and downs, and sometimes teams just always have their ups. So I was it just so happened that in the non-conference we started down, but we can switch it around in this conference play. So just trying to give my team still give them a lot of spirit, because I feel like we can change things around.
That said, how much does it help that you did win your last game against GW and seemed to play a complete game at both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively?
Yeah, it definitely helped out very well. I feel like it gave us a big confidence. We came to practice yesterday with a lot of energy, a lot of communication. So I feel like this will give us a big boost going into tomorrow night.
Why was the offense so much better against that zone that it wasn't against other zones you've seen?
I would say we then kept swinging the ball around the perimeter. We finally just got inside the middle. Coach Mooney would put me, Nick, or Grant in the middle just to try to get others cutting involved. So I feel like when we get the ball in the middle, it definitely would be hard to stop us.
Well, losing is never easy, especially just in a fashion that's happened for you guys this year. How razor thin, though, is the line between using frustration as motivation and hey, let's get going, and also, or it can derail you too if it gets too bad or you don't handle it correctly?
It is kind of hard. I would say in the non-conference, when we just kept losing back to back, it was kind of frustrating just coming back in practice, just keep telling each other come on, we'll be fine. It's gonna pick up for us. But it's just all about just focusing on one game at a time. So now that the non-conference out the way, we just left that in the past and just trying to basically start a new record. That's basically how we're looking at it right now, and just getting ready for tomorrow night and try to pull out this big win.
You do a pretty good. Sorry, Bob, go ahead.
To a Richmond kid, what's the perspective of the Richmond-VCU rivalry to you?
I would say definitely, as a Richmond kid, it's definitely important to me. And I know it's definitely important to Nick also. So we're just going to try to go out there and battle, because we know a lot of our friends going to be there, a lot of family members. So it's going to be that type of game for us. It's just going to feel like we're playing back in high school again.
What, if anything, are you talking about with your teammates, some of whom have played in this game, others of whom have not played in this game?
I was telling the freshmen Jacob, Nathan, and all of them that it's going to be a very competitive game. It's going to be very loud in there. VCU, they do not give up on any plays at all. So it's just going to have to bring that competitive nature and be ready to compete.
You guys do an all right job of blocking out the noise from I know the fan bases kind of go back and forth during these weeks. You guys do a pretty good job of blocking out the noise amongst yourselves in the locker room.
Yeah, definitely. We just try to just stay together as a team and don't listen to what anybody has to say. We know people would talk bad about any teams or would be on a team good side. So we just always just just try to stay within ourselves and just stay within our fans because we know our fans have our back no matter what. So we just try to just base our energy off our fans and just try to keep ourselves going through this whole conference play.
How important is this rivalry for the city?
It's very important. Like I was on Twitter this morning, I was seeing a lot of people was talking about like who's going to the game and stuff like that. So I know this rivalry is very important, and for us to pull out this win would be a big win for us.
What do you say to the guys Bob mentioned about for guys who haven't played this game for the first time? But what about playing in that arena for the first time? It's noticeably different than playing somewhere else.
I would say playing in the arena is definitely easy, like to get frustrated or to get nervous, to have butterflies, but just have to go out there and just remember that it's just basketball. You just have to know it. Everybody bleeds the same blood that we do, so we just have to go on the court and just compete. Like, you know, we all playing the same 40 minutes, so just have to go out there and compete and just play hard the whole time.
Grant, what is the key for you personally when defending somebody as athletic as Justin Tillman?
You know, I think just trying to make everything hard for him. I think because of his speed and athleticism, he gets a lot of easy looks. He also has a lot of skill. He gets the ball out of his hand quick, and he's able to make shots like that. So I think just, you know, trying to deny him the ball early in the game and just make things tough for him, I think would probably be my best approach for him.
What was the difference for you personally between the Dayton game and the George Washington game?
I think, you know, as a team, as a whole, we sort of found the holes in George Washington's zone rather than, and we struggled with Dayton's a little bit. So I think early on I got some easier shots that I were able to make, and they just kept falling for me. Whereas Dayton, I think I started off slow. So.
Speaking of Dayton, did you watch VCU Dayton, and what do you take from that comparison from your game with Dayton, other than Dayton shooting the lights out?
Yeah, we all saw the score, but you know, the A-10's been pretty crazy this year. A lot of people have been beating each other, so you know, anybody can beat anybody on any given night. So we try not to feed into that too much.
Along those lines, Grant, you know, when you see a game like, would you almost rather face a team after they've been tested than when they're kind of hungry coming off a showing like that? You know, I mean, if you perform like that, I mean, I would imagine you can't wait to get back on the court again.
Yeah, definitely. That's another thing. I just don't think we think about it like that. I know I personally don't, but either way, we got to be prepared and ready to go because I know they are. So.
How do you think about coming off of the George Washington game with a win, pretty complete offensively, defensively? How does that help you get ready for VCU?
Obviously, coming off a win, there's lots of momentum. We showed a lot of good things in that game. But VCU is a totally different team, totally different style. So I think we just need to pay attention to the scout today, especially in practice, and you know, just be prepared and come with a different approach and be ready to play their personnel. So.
What's your approach? You were around last year, but you didn't play in those games. This will be your first taste on the court of this rivalry.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Coach emphasized it in practice yesterday, just being calm. Like he said, high intensity situation, high stakes game, lots of people there. But I think staying calm and just staying together on the floor is going to be the biggest thing for us tomorrow with such a young team. But I think if we're able to do that, it'll help us out a lot.
You were born in Richmond. Any more emphasis on this rivalry to you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a big game, big rivalry. But, you know, every game's big for us, so I try not to think about stuff like that.
Were you recruited by VCU?
I was not.
Okay. Any particular, no grudge there?
No grudge at all. No hard feelings.
I don't believe you.
Not at all. Not at all. I promise.